Shalom, Akim. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to you brothers out there doing the work of sincerity and truth. Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, Bashem Rakakwadash, Barakatam Akim. Alright, I'm coming back with another video. I want to go into a dream that Pharaoh had during the time of was it Jacob and his son Joesph. You had the Israelites, they were born already, and I want to go into this account whenever Joesph was given over. His brothers basically betrayed him, and they gave him over, and he was put into Egypt. Okay, and this was during the time when he was apprehended and put into prison, and Pharaoh summoned him because Pharaoh, I'm about to read it right now, but this is basically a same thing that's going on with America. America has had numerous amounts of years of prosperity, but now it's going to see its end of despair, of complete emptiness and destruction. And that's what we're seeing. So this is Genesis 41:1. It says, "And it came to pass at the end of two full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine and fat-fleshed, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river." So the first kine, which are the cattle, that's another word for cattle, came up well-favored and fat-fleshed, meaning that they were healthy. And then you had another 7 kine that came up ill-favored and lean-fleshed, meaning that they were sickened. Okay, they lacked nutrients. Basically, they're on the brink of death. Okay, so we know what number 7 represents completion. So there's a completion of prosperity. It's going to come to its end, especially on this side of in our time. In this reality, this carnal reality, versus the spiritual reality that we're going to see come soon is going to be everlasting. So everything has an end when it comes to on this side. From the beginning of the downfall of man by way of Eve, there's always been downfall. Okay, and we know that America is spiritually known as Egypt, and we know Egypt had its time of prosperity. Then it saw its end. All right, same thing with all the other nations. So Pharaoh, he had this dream, and it said at verse 4, "And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed kine did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kine. So Pharaoh awoke." Okay, so the sick kine ate up the other 7 kine, consumed them, right? So I'm going to go into that word kine so you brothers know what it represents. All right, the outline of biblical usage says a cow or a heifer, which is the cattle. A heifer, cow, heifer, kine. Okay, so you brothers know what that is. Let's go into what lean-fleshed means. It says thin, small, fine, gaunt. Okay, so basically it's thin. Its growth has been stunted. It didn't come to its full, being whole. Okay, so we know that the 7 first kind were healthy, in its full strength, full of prosperity. Now let's go to let me see. Let's go to Salakia, brothers. Let's go to verse 17. Now Joseph's going to break it down to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joesph, "In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. So Pharaoh saw that these ill-favored and lean-fleshed kine was having a toll on the land, that it looked completely, whether he saw it or he felt it to the spirit, that it was complete hopelessness in the land, famished, death and destruction. It says, and the lean and the ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine, and when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored as at the beginning. So I awoke. So even those ill kine, after they ate those fat kine, they were still sick. They still looked famished. Okay? And that's how America's looking, man. America is coming to that point of it's beginning to wither away, to die. And the people already right now, the people think they're in a good case because they're going to the stores, buying up all the groceries, and freezing up all kinds of meat. And like here in my city, you're only limited to 2 gallons of milk per customer. Same thing with toilet paper. Toilet paper is on a buying limit. Okay, so pretty soon, man, they're gonna start. If not, we don't know yet, but there's a possibility they could start rationing out the food, meaning they're gonna do it by weight. The scriptures go into that, man. Okay. So this is what's going on, man. We know that this is the end. Okay. This has never happened before. We're seeing some beautiful things going on the earth right now. Okay. And these people, they're gonna know come soon that the Bible was always the truth. They're gonna be reading the Bible. I guarantee you got all these people reading the Bible. They're trying to find out, oh, this is prophecy. This is what the Lord said was gonna happen. But all this whole time, they weren't getting the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Meaning that they had to have the Spirit, the true Holy Spirit, not just claiming they have it, or by going to churches and being dunked in water and being blessed by some holy water, that they're reborn again. No, man, you had to be called by Yahweh Shemiah Shai, man. You had to be called, and you had to come into the true understanding, the one doctrine, one spirit, one faith. You had to see eye to eye. You had to have one mouth with the elect. You had to be part of the elect in order to be delivered and saved from this time. That's the only way. Now, let me get this one here in the book of Revelations. This is in the book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and wine. So there's gonna come a time where they're gonna ration out the food, man. You're gonna see maybe like certain things are probably gonna have a shorter shelf date. It's gonna have a more shorter life date, meaning that it's gonna expire quickly. It's gonna spoil faster, or they might have a shortage of the quantity is not as much, so it's gonna be limited. So they're gonna ration it out to the people. They're gonna do it, and it's gonna be, the prices are gonna go up. Okay. When you go into that verse there in Revelation 6, a penny is not just some little penny that we know here in America. Okay. So everything's gonna go up. It's gonna be rationed. You're gonna be limited. This is what we're looking at right now, man. And it's just a matter of time for we have to sit back and wait, us brothers, and not sit back and wait and not be doing nothing. I'm saying that we're watching as the day goes by. Okay, we're seeing these prophecies unfold because Joseph told Pharaoh, "Hey, this is what's coming, man." Okay, this is what he's gonna say right here in verse 22. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good. So he's going into not only just the meat, but he's also going into the grains. Okay, the crops. It says, and behold, 7 ears withered, thin, and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. You see? So Esau's not gonna have no explanation. He's gonna go out of control. Esau thinks he has everything under control by doing these shutdowns. He's trying to contain it. You ain't gonna contain anything, man. The Lord has the hook in y'all's jaws, man, and he's making you do exactly what he needs you to do. Okay, Lord willing that this is it, man. Okay. So all these things are going to be affected. It's not just the meat, or it's going to be the crops. Meaning that it's going to go further outside of the stores. It's going to go into the farmers and everything. Let me get this other one real quick. Let's see. See what I got here. This is Joel. This is Joel 1:10. The field is wasted, the land mourneth, for the corn is wasted, the new wine is dried up, the oil languisheth. Okay. So everything is gonna be wasted, man. So this is all coming to a full circle. We know that, like I said, America, like the scriptures bear witness, America is a spiritual place known as Egypt. Now Pharaoh, he was in the time of Egypt. This is Pharaoh. So Joesph was an Israelite, and he's about to break down the scriptures to him, right? But I want to read that again. Joel 1:10. The field is wasted, the land mourneth, for the corn is wasted. The new wine is dried up, the oil languisheth. But be ye ashamed, O you husbandmen, how, O you vine dressers, for the wheat and for the barley, because the harvest of the field is perished. The vine is dried up, and the fig tree languisheth, the pomegranate tree, the palm tree also, and the apple tree. Even all the trees of the field are withered, because joy is withered away from the sons of men. Okay? So everything is going to be affected, man. All right? It says, gird up yourselves and lament, you priests, howl, you ministers of the altar. Come, lie all night in sackcloth, you ministers of God. For the meat offering, the drink offering is withholden from the house of your power. Sanctify ye a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land into the house of the Lord our power, and cry unto the Lord. Alas for the day of the Lord is at hand, and as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. Is not the meat cut off before our eyes? Yea, joy and gladness from the house of our God. So this is the day of the Lord is at hand, and the destruction from the Almighty shall it come, just like it came in this time. Ultimately, it was ultimately revealed during the time of Moses, when it was a complete destruction. But it was a foreshadowing of that here in this particular time with Joesph, the famine, okay, in the land. And how the Lord used Egypt for Jacob to come into the land to prosper, but to be delivered and to see the destruction, the downfall of Pharaoh in Egypt. It says, verse 17, Joel 1:17, the seed is rotten under their clods, the gardeners are laid desolate, the barns are broken down, for the corn is withered. It's like these grocery stores. These grocery stores are going to be broken down, man. People are going to go in there and they're going to say, fuck you, we're hungry, we need to eat, we're taking it, we're coming in. Things like that are going to happen. All right. It says, how do the beasts groan? The herds of cattle are perplexed. See, even the animals are all bugging out, man. You know, they lack the nutrients, they lack the resources they need to continue to grow into things, things of that nature. They're gonna end up looking like what we're seeing here, what we're reading here, and where it said that the 7 kind were ill-favored and lean-fleshed. Okay. It says, because they have no pasture, yea, the flocks of the sheep are made desolate. O Lord, to thee will I cry, for the fire had devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame had burned all the trees of the field. And we're seeing that right now. California, Australia? They had the fires. You're having fires everywhere. The beasts of the field cry also unto thee. The rivers of the waters are dried up, and the fire had devoured the pastures of the wilderness. And we've been seeing the waters, the riverbeds are been, they're dried up, man. So this thing has been going on for some time. Now it's affecting, these 10 plagues that was hit Egypt. It's being performed here in America. I remember before we had the camera, we're preaching out here in the city, man, and then the one of the reservoir lakes here in our city called O.C. Fisher ended up turning blood red. There was fires going around here, the surrounding outskirts of the city, to the point where it was ash was falling down into the city. They got to a point where they were about to evacuate the people here in the city. And my neighbor came up to me saying, "Hey man, what did you do?" I was like, "I didn't do nothing. This is the Most High's doing." But there was a lot of things going on, and that's what's going on here all over across the globe now. It's global. Why? Because this gospel has reached the 4 corners of the earth, man. The elect have to be sealed right now. Okay. So I'm going to continue to read in verse 25. And Joesph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. Yahweh has showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. So we've been showing you what the Lord is about to do. Just like Moses told you what he was about to do. He told you what was going to, what something bad was going to come if he didn't let his people go. But it's more than just letting Israelites go. This is a day of recompense. This is a day of judgment. This is the valley of Jehoshaphat. Not right here, but this is in the whole nutshell. This is what it's about. Yahweh's judgment. Okay, and bring back Israel into its rightful state. This is what it's all about now. This is the end. It says, and Joesph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. Yahweh has showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind be 7 years of famine. Okay, so it's a famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What Yahweh is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. Just like America. America's time is numbered, man. Let me get this one here in the book of Job. The water Yahweh Bashem El Shai for bringing it back, because I had forgot I was going to bring this one out earlier. This is Job 14 and verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Okay, let me get this other one. Let's see. Get this other one here in the book of the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 36, and I'll start at verse 35. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask questions of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion, when cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward? And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer, and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. By measure hath he numbered the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he did not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. And that's what it's coming to. It's coming to fruition, man. It's coming to that full measure. Okay. Just like Pharaoh, and this time it was meant to happen. When things, the Most High is ready for something to happen, it's gonna happen. No, all we do is relay the message. That's all we do. We're making known. We're sounding the trumpet. It's like we're preparing the King to come through those doors. That's all we're doing. We're just trumpeting. But you know how they do it in the medieval times, where they would sound the trumpet before the King came in to make everybody aware and to stand up. But not everybody's standing up, right? See where I'm at. Verse 30. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following. So this famine is going to outweigh the plenty of what they were prospering in, because that's how deadly and of an effect it's going to have on the land. Okay? Where's that one scripture here in the book of Sirach? Let's see here. This is Sirach chapter 11 verse 25. In the day of prosperity there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction there is no more remembrance of prosperity. So that's what that represents. That's what that means, man. It says verse 31, and the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of the famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and Yahweh will shortly bring it to pass. And that's what we've been telling the people. That's what we've been telling you, man. Yahweh Basham is going to bring this to pass. You know? That's what Yahweh Shai said. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand, man. In the kingdom of heaven, everybody's saying, oh, the kingdom of the Lord he's coming back, this, that, and the third. Motherfucker, you don't even know what the fuck it consists of, how deadly it's gonna be. What has to happen before that's even established, man? Death and destruction, woes, mournings, and lamentations is here, it's coming. Ezekiel was told, John the Revelator was told, all the prophets were told. We have these examples of these different nations that were told. And what happened to those nations? They were destroyed. Those heathen nations. Okay? And I'm just tripping out, man. You know what I'm seeing? We're witnessing these things. Here in my city, they already limited the movie theaters to 50% of the capacity. So they're only letting have, however the number is, it's half. They're limiting the people to go and watch a movie. They're controlling it already. The same thing, like I said, with the groceries. I saw earlier that some states are closing down the bars, they're closing down the theaters, completely shutting them down. This ain't no joke, man. This is in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6. And I'm going to start at verse 22, get to the point. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And that's what we're starting to see, brothers. We're starting to see these prophecies come to pass. This thing ain't just going to come and go away or pass. This thing is for real, man. And it's not really hitting too many people because it's not making global or worldwide news headlines, because this is the beginning stages. These are the beginning of sorrows, man, that we've been speaking about. Now it's increasing, even though we've been seeing it for the past 20, 30, 40 years, going all the way back to World War I, the Great Depression, World War I, World War II, World War III, and everything in between all that, up to the point of World War III, and ultimately Yahweh Shai is going to crack them heavens and make everything right all over it, make everything right soon after, man. Okay, it says, verse 23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear it, they shall be suddenly afraid. And that's right, man. These people they're gonna be afraid. Eventually we're not gonna be on the highways and the byways no more. The Lord's gonna give us a green light, or a red light to be like, hey, stop. Does that mean that we're going to stop doing the word, that we're not going to take heed, we're not going to be reading and stuff like that, we're not going to be witnessing? No, the Lord's going to tell us when we should be doing it at that point, because right now it was a time of we rising up early, going out daily. But because you people refuse, and there's gonna come a time where the Lord was gonna tell his prophets to stop. It says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. And it's like these people, they're not even considering. If they're shutting down all these things, what makes you think they're not going to shut down the electricity? What makes you think they're not going to shut down the water utility? The water distribution, where the utilities. Mean that you ain't gonna have no running water, you ain't gonna have no electricity, which means that your meat, the frozen meat, is gonna be spoiled. What are you gonna do? It says, whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world, man. Okay, let's go over here to the book of Isaiah, verse 24, and right here, verse 16. For the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. Right? So we've been hearing the song, the new song being preached by all the brothers of camps throughout all the earth. Whether it be one brother out there, because there's many one-man camps that are out there scattered sporadically throughout the earth preaching, man. Then you got main camps with many brothers within a camp. Okay? So it says, from the uttermost part of the earth we have heard songs, even glory to the righteous. Right? But I said, my leanness, woe is unto me. Right? So that word leanness, it goes into being thin. Okay? Whether it be by the way of the spirit or physically, because we know everything starts in the spirit and it manifests to the flesh. Just like Israel was named Jeshurun, which was another a surname for it, which means was Yashawan, which means upright. So that they said they had wax fat, right? But eventually Israel is gonna come to this state of leanness, being thin and looking sick, to the point of death. So it said, my leanness, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously, yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitant of the earth. See? And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. But he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. Everything is open underneath heaven, man. The heavens are open. The everything is out here in the world is exposed. Everything is open in the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. There's nothing that has not been left or swept under a rug or left undone. This is the time, man. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly, which is going into the ICBM missiles. So I'm gonna stop right there for now, because this is what we're coming into, man. Okay. Let me go in here real quick to show you, brothers, what that my leanness. The outline of biblical usage says leanness, wasting, thinness, leanness, destruction. Isaiah, which immediately follows woe is me. Okay. So that's what that means, man. Let's go over here, see what it says here. Is to be or become or grow lean, to make lean, to be lean. The Strong's definition, to emaciate, that is, make, become thin, literally or figuratively, famish, wax lean. To spread out, to make thin and lean, hence to consume, to destroy. So that's where we're at, brothers. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, this it's gonna increase. It has to increase. It has to get worse. This is unprecedented. This has never happened. Okay. You got people that they're scared of this thing, and you got proud people that are not being scared. You know, us brothers, we know that this was coming. We've been waiting and watching. We've been telling the people there's no reason for us to be scared. There's no reason for us to be sad or happy. We've been saying it. This is what we've been claiming that we wanted. We've been walking hand in hand with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay? So there's no time to be switching up now. There's no time to be none of that shit right now. This is a time of being watchful even more and praying and hoping in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Even more than ever. Because we know the Lord is no respecter of persons, man. Okay? We got to keep the blood of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai on our doorpost. Let's go over here to Amos 9. This is Amos 9:1. I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the post may shake, and cut them in the head of all of them. Cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. And it goes into different scenarios, including famine is one of them. Okay? So the Lord is standing upon the altar. He's on his way back, man. We know that when these things are happening, the Lord is visiting the earth. Because the Lord, destruction follows with the Lord, or it's before him. Okay? And also, deliverance and mercy resides with him as well. He's not no tyrannical, unjust being. He's a righteous being. He don't ever do anything out of sequence or out of what his law, statutes, commandments are written. Okay? The scriptures say he's not a man that he should lie. So with that, I hope your brothers will edify. Until next time, I want to say shalom.